Hello, this is Tom, also known as Watchwolf, and today I'm going to be talking about Minecraft. In a series, it's going to be a rambling deconstruction of games that I've played over footage that I've previously played. I've made it hard to talk and play at the same time, at least in any in-depth, detailed way about the game. So, at the moment, I'm just playing Minecraft, going a bit crazy, looking around for stuff. Here I am crafting some items for some nefarious purpose, no doubt. Before I want to start, I've just I don't know. I've been reading a lot about Gamergate again because it's kind of one of those issues which is eternally in the consciousness of gaming, I think. And the conclusion that I've come to is basically that Nita Sarkisian is an opportunistic hack, and the best way to deal with people like that is just to ignore them. So I'm not going to talk about her anymore. And it just baffles me that other people aren't aware of what Gamergate is actually about. I wasn't aware of it, really, for a long time. I thought it was... yeah, anyway, that's the propaganda machine in operation, so we always have to be mindful of that. Although, on the plus side, I did manage to discover this rather interesting personality called... Her name's Karen Strawn, and she's a staunch anti-feminist. Now, in the past I've described myself as a feminist, and at the moment I describe myself as neither for nor against feminism. I've come to the conclusion that I'm an individualist, and I prefer not to pick sides about issues which are so complicated and difficult and interesting. But I think that she's this Karen figure is very astute in her observations about feminism, in a way that a lot of anti-feminist critiques aren't. So I recommend checking that out just as an intellectual exercise. Talking about intellectual exercises, I wanted to talk about Minecraft, and the reason that I find Minecraft interesting is because it's a very unique game in the way that it introduces you to its world. You start in the game and you have no resources, nothing around you. All you can do is walk around, look at the environment, and interact with it in very intuitive, simple ways. So you punch things, you use the WASD keys, you press space for jump, and you use the mouse. It's like basically a classic first-person perspective with classic first-person controls. This game tells you very little other than you need to use E to use things, or open your inventory. You press I or whatever it is. Oh no, it's E to open your inventory. It's so intuitive I forget what the controls even are. And basically, the rest of the game, there's no description of what you had to do. It's just like completely like you're a lamb in a field, and like you've just been left to fend for yourself. It's like a coming of age thing. It's like you're being dragged out of the tribe and thrown on your own and given nothing with which to defend yourself, and you have to sort of make it back alive, or create a life for yourself. And all the time though, the game is communicating with you in various ways. One of the things I found annoying about the game was the achievements. Like, I felt that that was kind of unnecessary and didn't really add anything to gameplay, because I like the open-ended structure of Minecraft, and the achievements kind of just seem tacked on and pointless. And I don't really know what they give you, and they don't really seem to add to the gameplay. They just feel like, oh, here's an achievement system, let's just apply that to the game. It does give you some goals, I guess, to let you... The one thing it does is it lets you know you're doing things which are productive, but that's kind of apparent already. It's like, we don't need to be patted on the back for getting our first wood, or making our first, table, or getting our first pickaxe. Like, all these things are kind of like rewards in and of themselves, because they enable you to do more things. And that's what I really like about Minecraft, is this whole game logic is kind of intuitive on the surface, and yet underneath there's all of this kind of like stuff going on, which you have to learn viscerally by playing the game. So, in this playing this, I haven't played much Minecraft. I learned that you couldn't mine gold with a stone pickaxe. Like, I didn't know that before. I played this time round, but I'm like hacking at this gold ore with like a stone pickaxe, and it just crumbles. And I'm like, "Where's the gold ore? This is the first time I've ever found gold. Where's my ore?" And then I realized that it was just destroying the ore in the same way that sometimes you know, some other items that you some other blocks that you hit with certain things get just destroyed, so like glass or whatever. So I decided, I realized I had to get an iron pick, and I went back and I crafted an iron pick, and I mined the gold, and it worked. And I was like, wow, that's a really rewarding experience, that I learned something about this game that I didn't know before. And Minecraft is full of this type of experience where you learn new things about the world intuitively through the game, and you can employ like reason and logic to work out what it is you're supposed to do. So it's not completely intuitive, but at the same time, the solutions that you find through playing the game are incredibly intuitive, and rely on like normal reasoning skills. One issue I do have is the crafting. Like, some of the crafting isn't obvious, like, and like I wouldn't know how to. I did have to look up about some things to craft, how you craft like an axe, for example. So I wondered if some of that could have been not like thrown into the game, but made more intuitive, or I like just a little something to like get us on our way. Because at the beginning, maybe, you know, I feel too lost. But once you get into it, and once you start to learn how the game works, you can discover new things, and that's really fascinating. I think Minecraft is a game that especially lends itself well to playing in a online environment with other players who also have understood and navigate the world. I haven't played Minecraft Realms, but I'm imagining that it would be a really fascinating experience. And I feel like this is kind of like Minecraft could be a model for massively multiplayer online games. That would be much more interesting than sort of like the WoW model, where you know, every player sort of plays basically by themselves, and they just do their own thing parallel to everybody else. In Minecraft, because everybody interacts with the same world, there's no separate instances. There's no individual, like everybody. There's no quests which everybody does by themselves. Well, I mean, you can choose to team up for quests, but ostensibly, my feeling of playing massively multiplayer online games is that they're basically like, here I am killing I don't even know what they're called, this creature from the Abyss of Stone. You could literally play World of Warcraft and never deal with another player for like until you hit level 80. Like, you could just play it as a solo player game, and that kind of seems to me to defeat the whole purpose of Mamorpagus, like, which is supposed to be a massively multiplayer online experience. And because Minecraft doesn't have that kind of like questing, but more of the sandbox feel, where you can interact with the environment in all these different ways, and everybody shares an environment. I mean, you could like literally like have wars with people, or like you could create like stable societies. You could do all sorts of different things that they don't even need to be programmed into the game. Like, once you put people into the game and give them the ability to organize themselves and to fight amongst each other, then you create a very interesting world. And I think that is where people should, you know, start to look when they think about new ways of creating Mamorpagus. Of course, World of Warcraft is the model, and has been for a long time, and it is the most successful model in terms of money. But I don't necessarily think that. And I mean, here it is, the crashing behemoth of money, stifling innovation, because, you know, capitalism doesn't lead to innovation, it leads to replication and copying. Innovation is a very small aspect, and actually a a lot of innovations don't come from capitalism, but just come from human ingenuity. So I'm not gonna go harp on about that, because you may agree or disagree, and we're not really here to talk about that. We're here to talk about games. So, getting back to the experience of Minecraft, I really enjoy this whole non-linear style of gameplay, which it just feels very organic. Like, it's a very organic experience. You don't have to go anywhere and do anything. It's completely up to you. You could literally choose to just build a log cabin in the woods and never do any mining and just go on your merry way exploring the world. And there's loads to explore. Like, I don't want to spoil the game for people who haven't played it, but it's like Minecraft is a game which kind of you discover more than you expect to. It's kind of like how we played Portal, and we thought Portal was just going to be like this puzzle game, and it was, but it was a puzzle game with a fantastic narrative and excellent, excellent voice acting and excellent humor. Minecraft is a survival game with RPG elements, I guess. Survival crafting game, but it's also kind of like a world exploration game, a game where you are learning something about this environment that you never encountered before. And in some ways it's a kind of very virtual experience, in that, what do I mean? I mean that you take a proxy role in this world, and it doesn't feel like you're playing the part of someone else. You are actually investing in something within the world. You feel and that adds to the immersion. It's literally like Heidegger is a philosopher who has this view that human beings are beings in the world, and what this means is that the way that we understand ourselves is in the context of our capacities and affordances within the world. Affordances is a word that's actually come to be used in game design to describe the way the world appears to the player in terms of how he can interact with it. This is where I find the gold, I think. Well, at least maybe not. That might be later. And what defines our relationship, our experience within the world, is how we're able to interact with that world. And because of the complexity of Minecraft, we don't need a story. The world creates its own story. We discover things. There's the gold. We discover things about the world that are... Hang on, I lost my train of thought. Stop. It's like discover things about the... Okay, I'm going to stop that train of thought because I've completely lost it. Very professional. And go back to talking about Bildung, so talking about affordance. Yeah, so it by definition we are immersed in the game because of its affordances. And when the game ceases to be an affordance, when we approach this uncanniness, this unreadiness of the world kind of resists, it feels sticky, whatever. That's when games they cease to be interactive experiences and become kind of like experiences of de-immersion, or we're kind of thrown out of the world at that point. Like, immersion is all about being thrown into the world, which is what how Heidegger describes our own state of fire within our own world. And when we encounter things within the game world that seem wrong, not from within the world, but from an external perspective, that throws us out of the world. And Minecraft is very good at keeping us in the world. And I think that's really all I need to say. So I'm going to smelt this gold, and maybe next time I'll talk more about something else. So thank you very much, and I'm going to do another one of these, maybe talk more about Minecraft or talk more about something else. So goodbye.